Everybody wants to see star players. She's a connector. She brings people together.
Clark firing and hitting. Clark behind the back. It goes right to the window. Wow.
She's hard to defend all the time, like not at times.
Clark launching and hitting. Clark splashing home a three. Clark the flick ahead. Oh, beautifully done. Touchdown Fever. Clark fires. You bet.
Then steps back with the three.
Caitlin Clark's historic Team USA debut just exploded, and this wasn't just another roster announcement. For months, fans said she should have been there. The Olympic snub was loud. The outrage was constant. Every debate show, every comment section, every highlight thread, the message was the same. She belonged on that stage. Now she's officially on Team USA, and the reaction online proves something bigger is happening, because this call-up isn't just about March qualifiers. It's about momentum. It's about correction, and it might arrive at the exact moment the WNBA needs it most.
So it looked like the return of Caitlin Clark is over, man. She is headed to Team USA basketball, and we're going to jump right into this thing, man. So the Indiana Fever and many of basketball media people in the news that Caitlin Clark will be returning to the basketball court. Now, this should come as no surprise from anybody. For anybody, bro. The 12-player roster has been released, and I'm excited because you know what that means? Basketball content is coming back, baby.
Let's start with the part that matters. This is not the Olympic team. It's the 2026 Women's World Cup qualifying roster.
So there's a lot of newness. I think the thing that isn't new is what USA Basketball is, what the goals are, what we want to accomplish, and like how we go about doing that.
It's not about like being young, age, or whatever. It's about the opportunity to be here, to represent, and understand that you're a part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, Kyle, you're going posting. How we doing down here? We guarded? Ready on 3, 1, 2, 3. Red.
Welcome to the new quad. I'm really excited to be here. I hope you are too.
The games are in March. A packed schedule. Senegal, Puerto Rico, Italy, New Zealand, Spain. Not every superstar participates in every global event. Asia Wilson is not here. Sabrina Ionescu is not here. That's normal. Olympic cycles matter more.
The 12-player roster features veterans like Kalia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, alongside first-timers Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and others including Aaliyah Boston, Sonia Citron, Dorica Hamby, Ryan Howard, Kiki Efron, already qualified for the 2026 FIFA Women's World Cup in Berlin. The team heads to San Juan, Puerto Rico from March the 11th through the 17th for a first-round robin against Senegal.
But here's what isn't normal. The internet reacted like this was the gold medal game. Fans didn't celebrate politely. They flooded social media. They reframed the narrative overnight. What felt like a snub in 2024 now feels like validation in 2026. And that matters because perception drives momentum. This roster is not slow. It's not built around traditional size. It's guard heavy, fast, built to run, built to shoot. Aaliyah Boston anchors the middle. But the perimeter talent is stacked. Paige Buchers, Angel Reese, Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, Ryan Howard. This is not a grinded out lineup. This is pace and space. And that's exactly where Caitlin Clark thrives. Deep range, quick reads, transition threes, hit-ahead passes. The system fits her. But that's also where the tension begins. Because when you build a roster like this, somebody sits. Does Chelsea Gray start, or does Clark? If Clark starts, some fans say veterans get disrespected. If she doesn't start, the internet explodes again. There is no safe decision, and that guarantees attention. Now let's talk about something subtle, but important. When Team USA released the roster graphic, they featured Ryan Howard, Chelsea Gray, and Aaliyah Boston, but not Clark, not Paige, not Angel. 3 of the biggest engagement drivers in women's basketball weren't front and center. And people noticed, because if you want something to trend, you use your viral stars. The graphic didn't go viral, the news did. That tells you something. Clark doesn't need placement anymore. She is the placement. And that's why this debut feels bigger than qualifiers. But here's where the story shifts. Because while Clark prepares to step onto an international floor, the WNBA is negotiating its future. The collective bargaining agreement remains unresolved. No confirmed updates, no clear resolution, just quotes. Frustration, silence. One player admitted uncertainty about whether the full season will happen. Another suggested the players might be asking for too much. That's not unity, that's tension. A player poll showed confidence in a full season hovering around the middle. Not panic, but not certainty either. And here's the reality. Missed games mean missed revenue. Revenue now ties directly to player earnings. The new revenue sharing model changes everything. Every canceled game costs money. That's not theory, that's math. So now look at the timing. Caitlin Clark joins Team USA. The internet explodes. Engagement spikes. Global visibility rises. At the exact moment the league is negotiating leverage. That is not a small detail. Clark drives ratings. Ratings drive money. Money drives negotiation power. This debut isn't just basketball, it's leverage. And that's why it feels historic. Because it sits at the intersection of talent, timing, and tension. For Clark personally, this moment feels overdue. Many believe she should have been on the 2024 Olympic team. That debate will never fully die. But now she steps into a new chapter, not as a college phenomenon, not as a controversial rookie, but as a Team USA guard. That label changes perception. International stage, national jersey, structured system, elite teammates, no excuses. And that's what makes March interesting. Not because of Senegal, not because of Italy, but because every possession will be dissected, every assist will trend, every missed shot will spark debate. This isn't casual viewership anymore. This is investment. And here's the part people don't want to admit. The league needs this moment, not drama, not division, momentum. The WNBA sits at a crossroads. Either capitalize on unprecedented attention or let internal conflict dilute it. Clark's debut won't fix negotiations, but it will spotlight them. And when that spotlight shines brighter than ever, decisions matter more. So when she steps onto that floor in March, it won't feel like a qualifier. It will feel like a statement, a correction, a reminder. Caitlin Clark on Team USA was inevitable. The delay only amplified it. And now that she's here, the question shifts. Will the league match her momentum? Because this debut isn't historic due to one game. It's historic because of timing. Young core, guard-heavy roster, global spotlight, unresolved negotiations, divided fan base. Everything collided at once. That's why it exploded. If you're still watching, drop USA Explodes in the comments. And tell me, should Clark start at point guard? Because no matter what happens in March, the debate isn't slowing down.
All right. So it appears the WNBA and NBC Sports have decided to move forward without even getting the deal done with these WNBA players as they continue to just spew a bunch of nonsense in regards to the CBA.
NBC exposed what Team USA didn't expect. ESPN won't say this clearly. NBC exposed something Team USA was not prepared for. And it happened in one night. Caitlin Clark did not raise her voice. She did not call anyone out. She did not demand anything. She simply sat at an NBA desk and looked like she belonged there.
We go here, boom, to NBC Sports, okay? And now NBC Sports, what they did is they flexed on them, okay? They flexed on them. Here it says, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. The WNBA is coming to NBC and Peacock.
That was the moment everything shifted, because the NBC appearance was supposed to be harmless. Quick segment, nice applause, move on. Instead, NBA fans leaned in. They didn't treat her like a guest from the women's game. They treated her like basketball authority. She broke down actions. She read coverages. She spoke calmly. No nerves, no overselling, and millions kept watching.
So it looked like Caitlin Clark has shut down NBC. If you guys don't know, she's making her first NBA analyst debut tonight, and some footage has been released, man. Look like Caitlin Clark is doing what she's doing best, and that is garnering a lot of attention, man. Caitlin Clark, ever since she arrived into the WNBA, but really it's ever since she arrived in college, she's been making it her point to make the transitions and do everything she got to do to become a household name.
That's what Team USA did not expect. They did not expect the attention to move from program to player. Team USA has always operated on one principle: the jersey comes first, the program comes first. The structure matters more than the individual, but NBC flipped that hierarchy in real time when Sam Flood publicly called her the most iconic figure in basketball, not just the women's game. That wasn't just praise. That was positioning.
We're actually adding another sharpshooter, as if our roster could hold another one down. It's a WNBA All-Star in Caitlin Clark, and guess what? We had our own Jamal Crawford and Zora Stevenson welcome her in, but the NBC way.
The NBA media ecosystem openly validated her in a way the WNBA rarely does. That contrast is uncomfortable, because once NBA audiences embrace you, the spotlight gets bigger than the system trying to manage it. And that is where the tension started. You could see it. Not in a press release, in tone, in posture, in interviews that suddenly felt sharper. When leadership feels in control, they sound calm. When leadership feels pressure, they tighten. And the more composed Caitlin looked, the more obvious the contrast became. She didn't respond. She didn't escalate. She went back to workouts, Nike teasers, 5-on-5 runs, Indiana Fever preparation. Meanwhile, the conversation online shifted. It wasn't about rotations. It wasn't about selections. It wasn't about coaching philosophy. It was about her. That is the exposure. Team USA wasn't collapsing, but it was revealed as unprepared for acceleration. Caitlin Clark represents speed. Attention moves faster around her. Ratings spike faster, narratives move faster, and institutions built on patience don't love acceleration, because acceleration reduces control. NBC didn't crown her, the audience did. That is the part no program can manage. Once momentum belongs to fans, you can't redirect it. You can only react. And reaction always looks weaker than initiation. This wasn't a scandal, it was a power reveal. The NBA broadcast showed she connects without the program's approval. That is dangerous in a system built on hierarchy. And here's the part people miss. Fans don't revolt loudly anymore. They disengage quietly. If they feel authenticity, they follow it. If they feel politics, they scroll past it. NBC gave fans authenticity. That's why the reaction hit harder than any press conference. This is not about Team USA disliking her. It's about realizing the spotlight is no longer fully controllable. And once control slips, things don't go back to normal. They adjust, quietly. And if this pattern continues, if NBC keeps bringing her back, if NBA audiences keep embracing her, then the program will have to adapt to her gravity. Not the other way around. If you're still watching, drop exposure in the comments.
This spring, NBC, Peacock, WNBA. Listen, I hope y'all WNBA players is paying attention. They will replace y'all asses. They have Caitlin Clark. They have Paige Beckers under contract. They have Angel Reese. They have replacement players they can go get. They have a slew of rookies they are about to draft. Nneka Ogwumike, if you don't play, I think the fans will be just okay.
Let's say this clearly. NBC just changed the leverage in the CBA fight, and it may not have meant to. When Caitlin Clark stepped onto that NBA broadcast, something subtle happened. She proved she does not need WNBA media to reach the biggest stage in basketball. That matters right now, because while negotiations stall, while proposals leak, while percentages get debated, one thing is clear. The WNBA needs viewership momentum, and momentum follows her. Now picture this scenario. If the CBA drags, if there's a delay, if there's a shortened season, where does the attention go? It doesn't disappear, it migrates. NBC already signaled openness to bringing her back. That's not a rumor, that's positioning.
Alicia Clark, if you don't sign on to the deal to play, I think the fans will be just fine watching Sonia Citron instead of Alicia Clark. Breanna Stewart, if you don't play, I think the fans would be okay watching Paige Beckers instead. I'm telling y'all, the WNBA, NBC, Peacock, they're pushing on and moving on with their promo, regardless if y'all signing this deal or not, because I'm pretty sure they got a contingency plan in place. They have a contingency plan in place. Y'all better stop playing games and sign this deal.
If she becomes a recurring NBA analyst during instability, that changes negotiation psychology. Why? Because leverage isn't about money alone. It's about options. The strongest negotiator is the one who can walk away. Now, I'm not saying she will, but NBC just showed she can exist outside the WNBA spotlight and still command national relevance. That shifts perception, and perception shifts power. During the broadcast, she didn't just participate. She led segments naturally. She spoke like someone who studies the league, not someone visiting it. NBA audiences responded. That reaction becomes a data point. Ratings, engagement, clips circulating on social media. Executives see those numbers, negotiators see those numbers, agents see those numbers. And in any collective bargaining environment, external validation strengthens internal value.
It's hurting them for its viewership, attendance. All of these different things is playing a factor in the WNBA not moving forward into the right direction. You can hate it or love it, but Caitlin Clark has single-handedly helped you young ladies bring proposals to the table. She has single-handedly lifted the boats. She has single-handedly garnered y'all charter flights, for God's sake, within 2 weeks of her being drafted. And just to see the way the WNBA players, WNBA owners, even certain owners coming out, we all remember that, speaking out about Caitlin Clark in a negative light. Different people like the commissioner, Kathy Engelberg, pretty much telling Caitlin Clark that if it wasn't for the league, she wouldn't have her platform, not knowing that Caitlin came in the game with everything she needed to be successful. She actually did y'all a favor.
Think about timing. CBA leaks hit ESPN. Confidential documents circulate publicly. Fans question revenue splits. Then NBC highlights the league's biggest star on the NBA stage. That's not just optics. That's leverage. Because now the narrative becomes, if the WNBA can't figure this out, the market still wants her. Markets are ruthless. They follow demand. And right now, demand follows Caitlin Clark. This is not about her threatening the league. It's about proof of independence. When a player proves she can generate relevance beyond the structure has to adjust. And institutions rarely enjoy adjusting. The most important moment wasn't a headline. It was calm. She didn't lobby for anything. She didn't hint at dissatisfaction. She just performed. Performance under pressure is currency. And NBC handed her a larger currency exchange. Now imagine sitting at the negotiation table knowing she can step onto NBA broadcasts, knowing Nike campaigns are coming, knowing audiences follow her regardless of schedule instability. That doesn't weaken her position, it strengthens it, because leverage isn't loud, it's silent confidence. And NBC gave her that stage. If the CBA resolves cleanly, great. But if it doesn't, there is now an alternative spotlight, and alternatives create bargaining power. This isn't drama, it's economics. When demand exceeds containment, the value rises. NBC didn't attack the WNBA. It expanded her ecosystem. And once an ecosystem expands, control narrows. If you're still watching, drop leverage in the comments.
We're going to talk about Caitlin Clark because she's got a new job. Caitlin Clark has landed herself a new, very high-profile position, and I've been wondering when this was going to happen. I knew at some point, somewhere, with some miscellaneous media outlet, Caitlin Clark would get a gig, and now we know where that gig's going to be, when that gig's going to be, and who that gig's going to be for.
After NBC, Caitlin Clark doesn't need the WNBA. That sounds dramatic, but stay with me. After NBC, Caitlin Clark proved something critical. She does not rely on the WNBA machine to stay culturally relevant. That is new territory. Before this season, the conversation was simple. She brings ratings to the league. She brings sponsorship attention. She brings mainstream interest. But it was still framed inside the WNBA structure. NBC broke that frame.
Caitlin Clark lands new role in basketball during Indiana Fever off season. You know, I don't know how much. There's no CBA right now. And this, of course, would run through, at least May, in theory. I don't know. We don't have any dates that stretch that far yet.
When she sat on an NBA desk and felt natural, it expanded perception. Not women's basketball star. Basketball star. Full stop. That distinction matters. Because the moment audiences stop compartmentalizing you, your market changes. NBA fans didn't watch out of obligation. They watched because she added value to the broadcast. That is universal currency. And once universal appeal is proven, dependency shrinks. Now let's zoom out. She has Nike momentum building. She has Indiana Fever anticipation. She has Team USA visibility. Now add NBA broadcast credibility. That's a diversified platform. Diversification reduces reliance. The WNBA still matters. The Fever still matter, but they are no longer the only stage. That is what institutions notice. When one entity is your sole pathway, it holds power. When multiple platforms compete for your presence, you hold power. NBC just entered that equation, and the reaction online told the story. Fans didn't debate whether she belonged. They debated how often she should return. That's a shift. That's expansion. Now, layer in uncertainty around the season. If there's instability, she doesn't disappear. She transitions. She remains visible. That stability of visibility is rare in sports. Most players fade without games. She doesn't. That changes narrative control. And here's the deeper piece. When a player feels bigger than the container, pressure builds inside the container, not because anyone hates her, but because structures resist being overshadowed. The NBC moment wasn't loud. It was quiet confidence. And quiet confidence often feels threatening to rigid systems. She didn't say she doesn't need the WNBA. She showed she isn't confined by it. That's different. And once that perception spreads, negotiations, media tone, and institutional posture all shift slightly. Nothing explodes, but gravity changes. The game doesn't revolve solely around the league. It revolves around attention, and attention currently revolves around her. After NBC, the ceiling expanded, and expanded ceilings reduce dependency. That's not rebellion. That's evolution. If you're still watching, drop independent in the comments.